order. Would the mayor please enter the auditorium? Okay, so you take over. So why?
Yeah. With Peabody.
Peabody Veterans Council present their colors.
Next it's going to be the
Chiefs.
chiefs when they get out.
Thank you. Will the Chief of Police and the Fire Chief on the Pledge of Allegiance.
I was having posted, so do
Music selection.
the Star Spangled Banner.
Okay, we will have the music selection of the Star Spangled Banner.
Lover's going to swear in.
Okay, so invocation.
Yep, do it next.
We will now do the invocation from Father Herbert Jones.
Most Holy Father, we gather this evening to begin the civil life of this city of Peabody for the year 2016. We pray for His Honor Mayor Edward Bettencourt Jr., for the members of the City Council, for all judges, and all other officers who are appointed to guard our political and social welfare, that they may be enabled by thy powerful protection to discharge the duties of their respective situations with honesty and ability. We recommend likewise to thy unbounded mercy all our brethren and fellow citizens, members of the police and fire departments, and for all public servants of this city, that they may be blessed in the knowledge and sanctified in the observance of thy most holy law, that they may be preserved in union and in peace. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Now the city clerk will read the records of the election.
No, sit. We can sit. We can sit down. No, but it's going down. Okay. The election record for 2015 at the municipal election held on November 3rd, 2015, 6,998 of the city's 35,664 registered voters, which represented 19%, cast their ballots. The following were elected to their respective offices. Offices of the mayor, 2-year term, Edward A. Bettencourt Jr. Councilors at large, 2-year term, Michael V. Garabedian, David C. Gravel, Thomas L. Gould, Ann M. Manning Martin, Thomas P. Walsh. Ward councilors, 2-year term, Ward 1, John G. Turco, Ward 2, Peter M. McGinn, Ward 3, James Mitsoulas, Ward 4, Edward R. Charist, Ward 5, Joel D. Saslaw, Ward 6, Barry C. Sinowitz. School Committee, 4-year term, Joseph Amico, Brandy L. Carpenter, John C. Olympio. Municipal Light Commission, 6-year term, Thomas J. Paris, Robert O. Wheatley. Trustees of the Peabody Institute, 6-year term, Wesley R. Merrill, Ann V. Quinn, Richard C. Shruhan, Margaret E. Tierney.
Thank you, City Clerk. We will now do the oath of office administered to the mayor by Senator Joan Lovely.
That I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon me as mayor of the city of Peabody, according to the best of my ability and understanding, agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution and laws of this Commonwealth, and the charter and ordinances of the city of Peabody, so help me God. And I do solemnly swear that I will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, so help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you. Great job. We'll now have the oath of office administered to all city council-elects by the city clerk.
Yep. Okay. Then I'll stand. Please stand. Raise your right hand. Can you all hear me? Okay, repeat after me. I, say your name. Okay, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all duties incumbent upon me as a city councillor of the city of Peabody, according to the best of my ability and understanding, agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution and laws of this Commonwealth, and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Peabody. So help me God. And I do solemnly swear that I will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So help me God. Okay, congratulations.
Now, the oath of office is administered to the school committee members-elect by the city clerk.
Yep. Okay. Raise your right hand, repeat after me, say your name after I. I, say your name. John Olympia. Okay, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
That I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and perform all duties
and perform all duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as a member of the school committee
as a member of the school committee
of the city of Peabody,
of the city of Peabody,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding,
and understanding,
agreeably to the rules and regulations
agreeably to the rules and regulations
of the Constitution and laws of this Commonwealth.
of the Constitution of the laws of this Commonwealth
Yep. And the charter and ordinances
and the charter and ordinance
of the city of Peabody.
of the city of Peabody.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And I do solemnly swear
And I do solemnly
that I will uphold and defend
that I will uphold and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, congratulations.
Now, the oath of office is administered to the electric light, municipal light plant, commissioners-elect by the city clerk.
Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
That I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and perform all duties
and perform all duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as a municipal light commissioner
as a municipal light commissioner
of the city of Peabody,
of the city of Peabody,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding,
and understanding,
agreeably to the rules and regulations
agreeably to the rules and regulations
of the Constitution and laws of this Commonwealth,
of the Constitution and laws of this Commonwealth,
and to the charter and ordinances
and to the charter and ordinances
of the city of Peabody.
of the city of Peabody.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And I do solemnly swear
And I do solemnly swear
that I will uphold and defend
that I will uphold and defend
the the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the Commonwealth of
of the
Massachusetts.
Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Wow, you guys are awesome.
Thanks.
The oath of office will now be administered to the trustees of the Peabody Institute Library by the city clerk.
Okay? Okay, raise your right hand after I, state your name, and then repeat after me. Okay? I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all duties incumbent upon me as a library trustee of the city of Peabody according to the best of my ability and understanding agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution and laws of this Commonwealth and the charter and ordinances of the city of Peabody. So help me God. And I do solemnly swear that I will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So help me God. Okay, congratulations.
Okay, the next business of the city council is to elect the new city council president for 2016. Councilor Gould.
Thank you, Councilor Garabedian, Mr. Mayor, fellow councilors. It is my great pleasure to place in nomination Peter Matthew McGinn. Peter got elected 2 years ago to a Ward 2 seat, and he has been an outstanding leader for the city, and he fills a role that was much needed here on the city council. I've always thought that if Allison Danforth, our court stenographer, didn't show up, he could keep the notes. He probably keeps them better than Allison, to be honest with you. But it is my pleasure, Mr. Garabedian, to place in nomination Peter Matthew McGinn for City Council President, term 2016. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Gould. You heard the nomination. Are there any other nominations?
Move to close the nominations.
Motion to close the public hearing or nominations. Voice roll call. Thank you.
Councilors McGinn.
Present.
Councilors Gould.
Yes.
Peter M. McGinn.
Sorry, Peter F. McGinn. Thank you.
M. Okay. Councilors Turco.
Peter McGinn.
Okay. Councilor Charist.
Peter McGinn.
Councilor Walsh.
Peter M. McGinn.
Councilor Mitsoulas.
Peter M. McGinn.
Councilor Sasla.
Peter M. McGinn.
Councilor Gravel.
Peter Matthew McGinn.
Councilor Manning Martin.
Peter M. McGinn.
Councilor Garabedian.
Peter M. McGinn.
Okay. Peter M. McGinn, elected City Council President for the year 2016.
I'd like to call forward Councilor Walsh. Tom, on behalf of the City Council, it is my pleasure to present you with this token of our appreciation. If I can find it. For your service. Thank you. As City Council President for 2015. Early on, you encouraged the Council to think regionally when it comes to solving issues. In particular, you saw the opportunity in working cooperatively with Salem. You initiated that dialogue. I hope you will continue to push us in that direction going forward. In the history of the City Council, there have only been 11 councilors that have held the president position twice. Realizing that you were experienced in the role, I watched you as you ran efficient meetings. As president, you were polite yet firm when necessary to keep the meetings on track. I tried to learn from your style and will use that as a model for conducting our affairs in 2016.
Thank you, Peter. I did prepare a couple remarks, but it's very brief, so don't get nervous. To Father Jones, Mayor Bettencourt, need my glasses, my fellow councilors, invited guests, thank you all for joining us this evening. You know, tonight's really about the organization of our city government and really to celebrate our new council president, Peter McGinn, congratulations, and to welcome our new members, John Turco and Ed Sharist. Welcome and good luck. It's also a time, if you don't mind, to look back at 2015 just for a moment, and first acknowledging our retired city councilors, Barry Osborne and Bob Driscoll. It truly was a privilege for me, albeit a short time, but it certainly was a privilege to have been able to serve with both of them. You know, when I took over as president last year, we had no snow, okay? So the first few weeks of council president, I'm watching this thinking, this guy could be in the same position. There was no snow, things went smoothly. And then, as we all know, things changed. The pressures and demands on our city government were enormous during the next several months. And I'd like to take this opportunity to express my thanks on behalf of the entire City Council to the entire staff of the Department of Public Services and to our police and fire who kept us safe during that extraordinary time. It did take a little bit of a hit on our budget, but with the responsible planning of our mayor and his administration, we were able to weather that storm. You know, aside from the winter, there are a few other things that occurred here on the City Council floor. We did limit, however, the amount of ceremonial presentations we had, but there were a few that I think are worth noting. We honored some Peabody residents, particularly those who had saved lives, recognizing their heroics. We did honor a young ladies softball team that won the state championship, and we did recognize a Guinness Book of World Records recipient for being the longest-serving ice cream man, and it was not Tommy Gould. But on a more serious note, this council worked on several major issues during the 2015 session. Through the spearheading of Councilor Gravel, we adopted a major events ordinance. We identified other ordinances and health codes that will help us protect single-family neighborhoods, particularly when it comes to the rental of rooms. We extended the moratorium on billboards and adopted a realignment of fire personnel as recommended by the mayor. We supported and walked with families of those who had been touched by the tragedy of opioid abuse, and that walk was organized through Councilor Manning Martin. We met with our Salem counterparts, as Councilor McGinn mentioned, for breakfast one morning to foster a better understanding and a sharing of our communities and our similarities. And we enforced our zoning ordinances and special permit restrictions as a way to protect the process and, more importantly, to protect the residents of the respective neighborhoods where the incidents had occurred. And we as a council can be proud that, as always, as in every year, Every person who came before us who wished to speak at a public hearing was able to do so and was able to speak and offer all their opinions. I'm honored to have been president in 2015. We could not have had such a successful year if it had not been for our respect for each other and our common goal of doing what's best for Peabody. In closing, I would just like to once again congratulate Peter and wish him well as he handles the gavel and keeps us in line for the next year. But before I leave, I think the most thanks that I have to offer is to Tim, our city clerk, and Colleen, for all the work that they do. The success that this council had in the past year is directly attributed to the work that everybody in that city clerk's office does on our behalf, and I thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Mr. Mayor, members of Peabody's veterans groups, Father Jones, Chief Griffin, Chief Pasden, Senator Lovely, Representative Spiliotis, District Attorney Blodgett, city department heads and workers, elected officials, family, friends, and Peabody citizens. Happy New Year. I'd like to thank my family for being here tonight. The support of Jeanette and our 4 children, Anna, Morris, Daniel, and Lydia, keeps me energized. And speaking of family, as some will recall, my brother John was a council president 32 years ago in 1984. So I am delighted that my father, also named John McGinn, is here with us tonight. At age 86, he is getting the chance to see a second son take this leadership role. Pa? Thank you to Councilor Gould for that kind nomination, and thank you to the fellow councilors for electing me as Peabody City Council President for 2016. To former councilors Barry Osborne and Robert Driscoll, I thank you for your many years of service to Peabody, and I wish you well in the future. To our new councilors, John Turco and Edward Charis, I welcome you to the City Council, and I look forward to working with both of you. As we begin the celebration of the City of Peabody's centennial, 2016 is truly important. I am honored to be serving as the Council's president during this milestone year. I'm sure you will be hearing much more from the mayor later this evening about the 5 major centennial events, or at least I hope so. However, I'd like to take a moment to make you aware of 2 of the events of which I am most actively involved. I am pleased to be working with Martha Holden and Kathy Gravel as one of the co-chairs of the Centennial Parade Committee. We have been working since June of last year on the planning of a parade that will take place on October 2nd, 2016. The parade that took place in 1991 that marked Peabody's 75th anniversary was quite a spectacle. We hope to rival that event. To do so, much remains to be done. We need many more volunteers. If you'd like to be involved, please fill out a volunteer form on our website, peabody100.com, Peabody, the number 100.com. Also, on January 2nd, 2017, myself, as outgoing council president, and the incoming council president, will host a birthday celebration as part of the city's organizational of city government as required by the charter to take place on the first Monday of each January. Again, information on these and other events are available at peabody100.com. It is appropriate tonight to consider the City of Peabody's beginnings. Quoting from the Peabody story by John A. Wells, quote, "In the state election held on November 7th, 1916, the voters of Peabody accepted the Plan B city charter and became the 37th city of Massachusetts. The action, according to the press, was unexpected, and the politicians were dumbfounded. The vote cast was 1,170 in favor to 1,115 opposed, with 607 blanks. Thus, Peabody became, a city by the slim margin of 55 votes. So what started Peabody's proud history as a city was a close election. I think our two new ward councilors will agree the old saying, every vote counts, is as relevant today as it was in 1916. Looking onward, as we prepare for the next 100 years, I look forward to hearing His Honor the Mayor's list of accomplishments for the past term and plan for the current term. I'm sure much of your agenda will end up before the council in some form. In doing the business of the council, it is sometimes easy to get lost in the tactical details of many of our necessary administrative tasks. With the centennial as our inspiration, I challenge the 2016 City Council to look beyond some of the tactical details of our role and think long-term. As a council, we should seek ways to make Peabody an ever better place to live for Peabody's residents now and for generations to come. Again, I look forward to working with all of you, and thank you for the privilege to serve as your president. The first order of business will be to draw for seat positions. I'll turn it over to the clerk for that task.
Okay, we'll draw by alphabetical order, which means that Council Charis will go first. Yeah. No peeking. What do you got? 5, okay. Seat number 5, Councilor Garabedian. No peeking. What do you got? Seat number 9, Councilor Gould. Seat number 10, Councilor Gravel. Seat number 8, Councilor Manning Martin. What do you got? 4. Seat number 4, Councilor Mitsoulas. Oh, Dino. Seat number 1. Lucky number 1 for Councilor Mitsoulas. Takes all the pressure off now, Councilor Sasala. Doesn't have to move his seat. You got it. What do you got, Joel? 6? Okay. Seat number 6. Who wants to pull for Council Sinowitz? Do you want to pull, Tom? Since 1 is already pulled. No. But he's next. Number 2. Council Turco. Pick a good one. What do you got, John? 7. Seat number 7, and last but not least, Councilor Walsh. I mean, there's only one number left, but we might as well have you pick it to make it official. Yeah, you can peek. Seat number 3.
At this time, I'll accept motions, orders, and resolutions. Seeing none, we will move to the next item on the agenda, which is a music selection performed by the Peabody Veterans Memorial High School Chorale under the directions of Mr. John Simmons.
Hey friends, I see in your program that the title is God Bless America. We're actually going to sing God Bless the USA, the Lee Greenwood tune that's marvelously arranged by Deep Sharon.
The flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget when you die, who gave that right to me, and I'll gladly sign next to you. Cause I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit right down to Houston, and New York to LA. There's a pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget who died, who gave the right to me, and the proudly start of
At this time, I'd like to call forward the Honorable Mayor Bettencourt for recognitions and presentations.
Thank you. Can we just have one more round of applause for our students? I love listening to them. We have such talent in our school system, and it's wonderful to see them perform and hear them. I also want to just briefly mention that I want to congratulate Councilor McGinn on being named president. We've been able to work together now for 2 years, and I got to say that I've just been very impressed with his passion for the job, his commitment to the city, to the downtown, and I'm really looking forward to working with you, Peter, over the next couple of years. Thank you. Today is a bittersweet day, and I wanted to take a few minutes before I give my inaugural address. We have 3 men who I greatly admire that are retiring today from public service as elected officials for the city of Peabody. 3 people who really just exhibit Peabody pride in so many different ways, and they've been just tremendous assets for the city of Peabody, and people that I consider very dear friends that I've had the fortunate opportunity to serve with on the city council, on the school committee, different committees across the city, and they really have been 3 go-to people in countless ways, and it's been such an important part of so many things that take place for our city. Each have served a significant number of years with distinction, and I can honestly say that every meeting that they've come to, they've always come prepared, ready to listen, and always with the best interests of the city at heart. Each has left their mark, and the city has been fortunate that they have offered their services to us. We have a gift from the city that I wanted to present to each of them, and I'm going to call them up one by one to come forward. And first, I'd like to ask Barry Osborne to come forward. Barry? Barry has been our Ward 1 councilor for the past 16 years, and I think many of you know Ward 1. It's a very active ward, residential, commercial, so many different parts to that ward. We have a golf course, we have a library, we have a fire station, we have Brown's Pond, and we have a lot of development, a lot of projects that have taken place in Ward 1. And Barry's expertise has touched so many of those different areas. Extremely hard worker who's always represented the city with humility, with a sense of humor, and with great passion. And I want to thank Barry for his years of service. I want to mention his wife, Mary Pat, who I know, certainly I see it at home with my wife, receives many of the phone calls and takes on a lot of the burden while we're out serving the city. And I wanted to make special mention of her, his sons, Kevin and Michael, and Michael's wife, Marissa, is here with Barry's a new grandfather, too. So, but Barry, just as a token of our respect and appreciation, I wanted to offer you this gift on behalf of a grateful city. So thank you, Barry.
Thank you very much, Mayor, for those kind words. I really appreciate them. Geez, when I walked in, I was kind of taken back by the blue U. I mean, I've been a counselor for 16 years. I was looking for the blue light special at Kmart, but it's very, very becoming. At the formation of government, I always made it a point to say to the mayor, and I did it the same thing tonight. Mayor, remember, when you give a speech, it doesn't have to be long to be divine. I'm sorry I didn't get to McGinn and Walsh before tonight. But serious, I will keep this very simple because it doesn't have to be long to be divine. I enjoyed every minute of it. I want to thank my wife and my family for the sacrifices they've made. But most of all, I want to thank my parents for all the reasons that you should thank your parents, but especially for moving to 7 Lincoln Road in Peabody, where I was able to live in a city that I love. And I want to recognize the mayor that you really came into a great song tonight, but if you didn't recognize it, that was the Peabody Fight song, and great choice, Mayor. And again, Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
And I wanted to invite Dave McGeaney to come forward. Dave? So Dave has served on the school committee for 20 years. And I'm going to say that again. He has served on the school committee for 20 years. But there's so many things that I would like to say about Dave, and so many words of appreciation. He's really been a go-to person for this city, for the city of Peabody, for the school system. He's been somebody who we're very fortunate to be able to give to us his gifts, and they are many. He's been a part of new schools and new initiatives in the school system, new projects, been a part of our contract negotiations. Really everything that's good that has happened in our school system, Dave McGeaney has been a part of and played an integral role in. And I've been very fortunate to call him my friend. He's somebody that I've looked to over the 4 years as mayor, and even before that when I was on the city council, for advice and for words of encouragement, and somebody who I greatly admire and respect. And I wanted to mention his wife, Stephanie, who also has been such an important part of the city in so many different ways. Yeah. Oh, right. His daughter Sharon and her husband Anthony and his daughter Emily. And I want to thank you for sharing Dave with us. And Dave, on behalf of the city, I wanted to just thank you again for your years of service and so much you've done for our community. Thank you, Dave.
Barry, you've given excellent advice. It's been an honor to serve you, and believe me, the schools, systems in Peabody are in the very capable hands of a terrific mayor with vision and a school committee that's very devoted and dedicated. Thank you.
Did he have it? Yes. Great. Thank you, Dave. And I wanted to ask Bob Driscoll to come forward. Please, Bob. Well, I never thought this day would come, because Bob Driscoll has been our Ward 4 councilor for the past 28 years. And, yes. Without question, one of the longest-serving elected officials in our city's history, and he may be the longest-serving continuous. I just asked Tim Spanos to look that up for us. But as you know, Ward 4, or as many of you may know, Ward 4 is the largest ward geographically. It covers pieces of downtown, it covers Brooksby Farm, parts of Route 114, all the way down to Salem Country Club. And Bob, for years, has been faced with a number of very difficult issues. And like Barry Osborne before him in Ward 1, so many different things take place in Ward 4, so many areas that Bob has needed to lead on, and he's done an outstanding job. He's certainly one of the most respected people that I know and that I've had the opportunity to be around. I think everybody on the council can attest to his leadership, his voice of calm, his voice of reason, and he's always served with just such dignity and such honor, and he's somebody that I've always enjoyed being around, and we're going to miss him greatly on the city council, but I do know that he'll be involved, as the others will be, in many other city events. I wanted to mention his wife, Sally. Now, he has 10 kids, and I know some of them, but I'm not going to try. Bob says he knows some of them too.
Just kidding.
Yeah, we might have to edit that on PAT. But Bob, really, you've been a joy to work with, and I can't thank you enough for your friendship and everything that you've done for the city of Peabody. And this is just a gift, again, a token of appreciation.
Thank you for those kind words. As Barry says, be brief. 28 years has been a long time. I have a lot of thanks for a lot of people. First of all, the citizens of Ward 4 who gave me the opportunity as a young man who started out and wanted to be active in my community. I thank them. I also thank my fellow city councilors. 28 years, it's gone by very quickly, believe me. We've always got along, we can agree to disagree, and you've always had each other's backs. And I thank you in particular for your kindness and your respect. Lastly, I'd like to thank the Peabody workers. The city of Peabody are very lucky. They're very dedicated people who enjoy public service, and they work very hard for our community. They've done an outstanding job, and we've come a long way since I've arrived at the city council door. So I thank the city workers. Lastly, and most importantly, I'd have to thank my family for their sacrifice over the 28 years. The children, believe it or not, helped out on many a campaign, and we had a lot of fun, a lot of interesting experiences. Most importantly, I have to thank my wife, Sally. She's the organizer. She's the brains of the operation. She unfortunately is injured, her Achilles tendon, climbing up on a volleyball ladder, officiating a game, so she's not with us this evening. But I thank her for her kindness, her respect, and all that she's given to myself, and most importantly, to our family. Lastly, one of the greatest. A very kind, a very bright, a very considerate man who's going to lead Peabody to great things. So thank you, Honorable Mayor Bettencourt.
I did want to mention we had already had the gifts wrapped, but it's a beautiful engraved clock with some very important words for each of the men, and I just again want to thank you. Thank you.
At this time, I'd request that the school committee come forward to conduct their organizational meeting.
Do you want the gavel?
Good evening. I'd like to call the school committee meeting to order for our organizational meeting. And I'd like to first start with the adoption of our school department bylaws. I entertain a motion for approval. Mrs. Griffin-Dunn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion that the school committee approve the adoption of the bylaws as written and as confirmed by Section B of the policy manual. So moved.
Second.
Thank you. You've heard of the motion to adopt made by Mrs. Griffin-Dunn, seconded by Mr. Rossignol. Any comments? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. We will now draw for our seat assignments for the upcoming year. Tim, do we have the box? So we'll first start with the seat selection, and we'll start with Mr. Amico. Seat number 6. Yeah, that'll be what Jared's. Mrs. Carpenter? Seat 3. Okay. Mrs. Dunn? Four. Thank you. Mr. Hockman? So that seat was 1, 2, 3. Seat 1. And Mr. Olympio? Seat 5? Yep. And Mr. Rosignol, your seat 2. Okay. Okay, next would be the election of the vice chairperson for 2016. Mrs. Carpenter?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It gives me great pleasure to nominate as vice chairperson for the 2016 school committee, Thomas J. Rosignol.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to close the nominations.
I've had the motion by Mrs. Carpenter, seconded by Mrs. Dunn. Motion made by Mr. Hockman to close the nominations. Any comments? Hearing none. I have a roll call vote, please.
Thomas Rosignol.
Present.
Thomas J. Rosignol.
Thomas Rosignol.
Thomas J. Rosignol.
Thomas J. Rosignol.
Congratulations, Tom, being named the vice chairperson for 2016. Thank you, Tom. We also have an election of secretary for 2016. Mrs. Dunn?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate for the position of Secretary of the School Committee, Mr. Joseph Amico.
Second.
Mr. Mayor, I move to close the nominations.
Great. You've heard the motion by Mrs. Dunn, seconded by Mr. Rosignol for Joseph Amico. The nominations were closed by Mr. Hockman. Roll call vote, please.
Joseph Amico.
Joseph Amico.
Joseph Amico.
Joseph Amico.
Joseph Amico.
Present.
Congratulations, Joe. Thank you. Congratulations. Well, thank you for the meeting. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Yes, I think it's a good idea. Yes, thank you. Okay.
At this time, I'd ask His Honor the Mayor to deliver his inaugural address.
Well, thank you, Father Jones. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly honored to be here with all of you this evening. Let me start by recognizing my wife, Andrea, and our three beautiful daughters, Taylor, Allie, and Avery. Yes? My parents, my sisters, my uncle, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, and so many friends and family who are here. I want to thank all of you for taking the time to be here. And I know it's an important day because Monday night is bowling night in our family. And I think if you walk down to Metro Bowl right now, the whole other half of my family is at Metro Bowl right now, bowling. But my father is here, and I know it's probably because of my mother that he's here for the inauguration. But I want to thank all of you for your love and support and the many sacrifices that you have made to allow me to serve the city that I love. It's my privilege to recognize our elected officials in attendance tonight. I want to thank State Senator Joan Lovely for being here and our State Representative Ted Spiliotis. Both extremely hardworking elected officials who've really embraced the city of Peabody, and I thank them for their friendship and their leadership. I want to thank the members of the City Council, the School Committee, the Electric Light Commission, and our Board of Library Trustees. Thank you for the hard work you do each day on behalf of your constituents. It matters. I want to congratulate the newly elected members of the City Council, the School Committee, and the Board of Library Trustees. As you can see, you have some big shoes to fill, but I think we have some real quality, outstanding people with a lot of passion for the city, and I look forward to working with all the new members. Each of you has endeavored to give your time and energy to the great calling of public service. Thank you on behalf of a grateful city, and I look forward to working with you. I would like to thank all of our city department heads, staff, and municipal employees for dedicating their professional lives towards improving our city. There's so many that are here today, and just such outstanding people, very fortunate to have surrounding me. I want to extend my gratitude to the many volunteers, also so many around the room today, who serve and have served over the years on our boards and commissions, and all have made an impact. And I want to recognize our military veterans and their families and say thank you for your service to our country and service to our city, and you mean so much to our community. I want to thank all of our veterans here today. Thank you as well to the men and women who serve our community as police officers and firefighters. Each day my respect and admiration for you grows as I witness your commitment to public service and the many sacrifices you make on behalf of our city. Tonight I am truly honored to begin my third term as mayor of the city of Peabody. As I have said before, serving as mayor of the city I love is fulfillment of a lifelong dream. I thank you once again for this great privilege. 100 years ago in 1916, residents of the town of Peabody went to the polls and voted in favor of becoming the city of Peabody. In January of the following year, in a ceremony similar to this one, Peabody's first mayor and first city council were sworn into office. I love looking around at the different pictures of the elected officials who have served our city. people who have contributed greatly to the city that we now have. I love looking at the names, and it's amazing. Back in the 20s, the name Cornelius must have been very popular. I don't see that name coming back anytime soon, but there's many Corneliuses on our wall. This evening, I feel especially blessed to be the mayor who kicks off a great year-long celebration of our city's centennial anniversary. Our outstanding Centennial Committee, chaired by City Councilor Tom Gould and Mary Bellavance, have planned 5 major events to mark this historic occasion in grand fashion. First one is a family festival at Brooksby Farm on May 15th, 2016, a Stars and Stripes concert on July 23rd, in which we will have one of our military bands, our national military bands, a centennial parade on October 2nd, 2016, a centennial birthday party, which will be a year from now, January 2nd, 2017, at the midterm, and finally a centennial grand ball on April 30th, 2017. Now, as we begin our centennial year, I am pleased to report that Peabody has much to celebrate. Thanks to the hard work and dedication of so many people in this room tonight, as well as a great many others across the city, Peabody has made great strides in the past 4 years, and we have laid the groundwork for a momentous period of growth over the next decade and beyond. We've made great strides in economic growth and development. During my first inauguration in 2012, I identified Centennial Park and downtown Peabody as 2 key areas of focus. Shortly thereafter, I appointed an Economic Development Council, which implemented a series of action steps designed to improve Centennial Park. Those efforts paid off with the opening of Centennial Crossing, a 40,000 square foot retail and office complex just off of Linfield Street. This development is now home to shops, restaurants, medical offices, and professional services, which provide valuable employee amenities within walking distance of many of Centennial Park's largest companies. Centennial Crossing is the most significant expansion of Centennial Park in 25 years. And I'm very happy to say that there's still one spot that needs to be rented at Centennial Crossing. We were looking at and estimating it was going to be about 3 to 4 years before we would have that location completely filled with tenants. And it's only been now just over a year, and we have it at 95% capacity, which is wonderful. And it gives a tremendous boost to our efforts to attract new businesses to Peabody with good-paying jobs for our residents. As to downtown, continuing the momentum created by the Main Street redesign project, we secured a $1.5 million state grant to help redesign Peabody Square and greatly improve the flow of traffic downtown. As you all know, it's a nightmare at times downtown, and trying to take it left is extremely dangerous. This project breaks ground in the spring and will relocate the Civil War monument away from traffic and make it the centerpiece of a new green space in front of the District Court building. By eliminating dangerous and confusing slip lanes and synchronizing traffic lights, the project will create a more traditional 4-way intersection and make the entire square more attractive and more business and pedestrian friendly. Our aggressive pursuit of state dollars to help finance significant downtown infrastructure improvements has attracted private investors. During the past 4 years, developers purchased several key downtown parcels and have begun injecting millions of dollars in business and residential developments into the area. If you drive down Main Street now, you'll see some changes to facades and some definite improvements in investment. And I think this is the year we're going to see some major events happen in our downtown. In addition, the city has agreed to purchase St. Paul's Church on Washington Street and has begun the process of acquiring the historic O'Shea building at the corner of Washington Street and Main Street. The St. Paul's property provides the city an additional 54 parking spaces, and together the 2 properties could inspire something truly special in this gateway section of the city. With the hope of creating a true destination downtown, the 2 properties represent a tremendous value which will pay dividends to the city for years to come. Overall, our efforts to position Peabody as a hub for new business development and job creation are paying off. Last year, the city issued 300 new business certificates, and I have been privileged to attend 50 ribbon-cutting ceremonies for new companies just in the past 2 years alone. With a continued focus on downtown Peabody and Centennial Park, Peabody will continue to be the economic engine that drives the entire region. And I wanted to thank the PDAT committee, the Peabody Downtown Action Team. It's chaired by Peter McGinn and Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Deanne Healy for their leadership. We are making great strides in education. 4 years ago, I acknowledged the challenges facing Peabody schools, and I committed my administration to addressing them. Chief among the issues we faced were school buildings in various states of disrepair, underperforming MCAS scores, and an English language learner program deemed deficient by the state. With so many talented and hardworking teachers, paraprofessionals, building principals, and district administrators in our system, I knew we could do better, and do better we have. The latest MCAS scores were just released, and I am happy to report that every single elementary school in the district is now performing at a level 2 level or better. Just to give you some perspective, we are ranked from a 1 to a 4, 1 being excellent, 2 being good, 3 being needs improvement, and 4 being in danger of state takeover. We had 6 of our 8 elementary schools were a level 2. We had 2 that were a level 3. We had 1 school, actually, the West, which is a level 1. But this time around, with our MCAS scores, the 2 that were a level 3 improved to become level 2 schools. So now all of our elementary schools are level 2 schools, and very, very proud about that. Also, our Higgins Middle School, the largest in Massachusetts, continues its great progress. They also moved from a level 3 school to a level 2 school, which was tremendous news. And after years of lagging behind statewide averages, our scores have improved at our high school. This year, 94% of Peabody High School students scored advanced or proficient in English language arts, and 72% scored advanced proficient in math and science. Perhaps most inspiring of all, the state has not only removed Peabody from the deficient list, but now recognizes us as having a progressive English language learner program whose students outperform their peers across Massachusetts. I want to thank Superintendent Herb Levine, Assistant Superintendent Kara Murtagh, and the members of the school committee for their tireless work on behalf of the Peabody students. At the high school, we opened a school-based health center named in honor of State Senator Frederick Berry to provide comprehensive primary care to students, as well as routine sports physicals, immunizations, and case management of chronic health conditions such as diabetes and asthma. The center also provides critical behavioral health services and is a tremendous resource to help combat the opiate epidemic that has affected Massachusetts and the entire New England region. Also at the high school, we completed a major renovation of the outdoor athletic complex, highlighted by a new track and multi-use turf field. We made dramatic upgrades to the cafeteria and are exploring renovations to our auditorium and to our gymnasium. In our continuing efforts to maintain and extend the life of our school buildings, we are replacing the roof and windows of the McCarthy Elementary School. We will also replace the roof at the high school in the summer of 2017. Both of these projects will benefit from significant financial reimbursements from the Massachusetts School Building Authority, the MSBA. And of course, the largest MSBA reimbursement we will receive is 56% of the costs for our new Higgins Middle School. The largest construction project in our city's history, I am pleased to report tonight that the new Higgins remains on schedule, on budget, and ready to open to all students this fall. What was once just a hope and a goal will now be reality, with generations of our students, our children, our grandchildren, reaping the benefits of a new state-of-the-art 3-story school building featuring the latest technology for 21st century learning. We've done that together. We are making great strides in public safety. As a son of a police officer, I know that the success of our city depends on the safety of our citizens. Police Chief Tom Griffin and I were privileged to swear in 8 new full-time police officers, and Fire Chief Steve Pazin and I swore in 6 new full-time firefighters this year. We continue to fill the reserve lists with well-qualified applicants to ensure the best police and fire protection for years to come. And just last month, Chief Pazin and I received strong City Council support to increase staffing at each of the district fire stations. The result is better fire protection for our residents and businesses and improved safety for our firefighters. We are making great strides in improving our open space, parks, and recreational opportunities. This past fall, we dedicated the Mayor Michael J. Bonfanti Nature Trail and Conservation Area at Sidney's Pond. This is phase 1 of the South Peabody Trail Network, which opens up 300 acres of city land from Sidney's Pond to Spring Pond to walkers, joggers, and cyclists. Largely financed by a $925,000 state grant, this project will be completed this summer. And if you haven't had the opportunity to check out, please go over to our golf course, the Meadow, and take a little bit of a walk on the nature trail. It's a beautiful observation deck overlooking Sidney's Pond, and it's something that really has to be seen to see what we have over in that area. In a similar vein, I am happy to report that the restoration of Crystal Lake is well underway with the design and permitting phase nearly complete. We're just down to one permit from the Army Corps of Engineers, which we're hoping to get in the next couple of months. But we've received approval from the EPA, the DEP, from our local Conservation Commission, and we're down to one final permit. And I know so many of the councilors, so many residents have been really a part of that project. Councilors Garabedian, Sinowitz, Sassler have been vital in that, and something that we believe or will happen will be, well, this year the vital dredging and restoration work will begin, and the area will be transformed into a true natural treasure in which all of us can enjoy and take great pride. Our commitment to improving existing city parks, ball fields, walking and biking trails, and other recreational amenities is ongoing. And I am pleased to announce today that we will soon benefit from a number of new playing fields in the space occupied by the current Higgins building when that gets demolished later this year. We are making great strides in municipal services. As everyone is aware, many of our roads took quite a beating last winter, and we were in desperate need of repair. Fortunately, we were able to demonstrate a greater need for state aid this year, and we received an additional $630,000 above our typical allotment. This allowed us to significantly increase the number of repaving projects without adding extra burden to the taxpayers. This past fall, city work crews put the finishing touches on nearly $2 million worth of road improvement projects across the city. The work encompassed large-scale repaving projects on Lowell Street, Russell Street, Gardner Street, Linfield Street, Lynn Street, and Bartholomew Street, as well as smaller-scale projects on many of the city's secondary roads. We also finished work on the Gardner Street Water Quality and Drainage Improvement Project. Work crews replaced 2 outdated water mains, which frequently broke down, costing thousands of dollars in taxpayer money. We installed 10 new fire hydrants and 67 water service connections. Thanks to the oversight of our Department of Public Services, as well as the patience and cooperation of nearby residents, the project wrapped up on time and under budget. We are making great strides with community events and quality of life. As mayor, I am committed to strengthening Peabody's sense of community with special events designed to bring our fellow residents together. In 2015, we breathed new life into Peabody's signature community event, the International Festival. And moving the festival onto Main Street, we were able to accommodate more vendors than ever before and improve access to amenities and public safety facilities. This past fall's festival drew an estimated 75,000 people who saw firsthand the great pride and culture of the city of Peabody. In September, we held our 3rd annual Senior Day at Brooksby Farm. City employees served a hot dog lunch to nearly 500 guests who enjoyed hayride tours of the apple orchards and exclusive access to some of the Peabody Historical Society's crown jewel properties. Peabody has been selected as the host city for the 2017 U.S. Senior Open Championship. This is certainly a point of pride and distinction for the city, as the tournament will draw tens of thousands of spectators and will be viewed by millions more around the world. I have established a committee chaired by Councilor Gravel to help represent the city's interest and help ensure a successful event. And in addition to the 5 major centennial events I outlined earlier, there will be a number of smaller events and festivities this year to commemorate our 100th birthday. Finally, we are making great strides in maintaining our affordability and high level of services. Over the past 4 years, we have invested heavily in Peabody's future, from education and infrastructure to public safety and quality of life. These investments and our collective efforts have paid dividends. For the 2nd straight year, our average residential home value has increased, this year by 6.7%. And despite the many projects we have undertaken together, Peabody remains one of the most affordable places to live in all of Massachusetts. In Essex County alone, Peabody's tax bill and our water and sewer bills rank among the very lowest of any city or town, while our levels of municipal services rank among the highest. As mayor, I am proud of the strides we have made together during the past 4 years. I am committed to continuing our progress, and I look forward with great optimism to a bright Peabody future. So as we begin Peabody's centennial birthday year of 2016, let us celebrate together our pride, our progress, and our great possibilities that lie ahead. Thank you.
At this time, I'd ask Father Jones to come forward and lead us in a closing prayer.
Father, Almighty God, look upon His Honor, Mayor Edward Bettencourt Jr., and on the members of the City Council. Help them to grow in your love, be pleased with their work and service for the people of this city. We pray that you bless the flags of our nation, our Commonwealth, and our city, and let it always remind us of the principles for which we stand. Give your peace to all, and help us to work together in harmony. God our Father, you guide everything in wisdom and love. Accept the prayers we offer this evening for our city. In your goodness, watch over those in authority, so that people everywhere may live in harmony, enjoy freedom, security, and peace. Amen.
At this time, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion. All in favor? Any opposed? It's a vote. We are adjourned.